Good morning and welcome to the Torah portion, Vayeira, Chumash and Rashi, as we continue the story. We're in the sixth reading. Chaim Rachel.
L'chaim.
The sixth reading. We had the story yesterday, the birth of Yitzchak, Isaac. And the story of Hagar and Ishmael being sent away. Now we continue, chapter 21, verse 22. And it was at that time Vayeira Avimelech. And Avimelech said, Ufechol Sartzavoy, and Fechol, who was the head of his army, of his legion, El Avram, they said to Avram Lamor, Elakim imcha, God is with you, B'chol asher ata oise, in everything that you do. Let's see Rashi. Elakim imcha, what's going on over here? God is with you. The Fishero, because they saw Shiyotza Mishchunas Stoim, that they left the vicinity of Stoim, Sodom, L'Sholem, in a safe manner. Even though the area was destroyed, they were safe. Bima Malachim Nilcham. He also waged war with the kings earlier, if you recall, last week's Torah portion. Benaf Lebiyadeh, and they fell in his hands. Benifkada Ishta, and now a third thing happened. His wife was remembered by God, and she conceived the Skuna in her old age.
Why does it say that Avimelech was speaking, but it's actually plural? Why is sticking fichol? What's the point?
I guess it means he was accompanied. In the translation over here, it translates that he was accompanied with him. In other words, he was there. He didn't do the speaking. Avimelech did the speaking. Why is it important that Mechol Sartzva was there? That's a good question. I guess it doesn't bother Rashi. What's the importance of that? In the simple meaning of the text, it's not a question. At a deeper level, it's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on a deeper level, it is a question, like, what's the significance of him being there? Although it would seem that even on a simple level, it would be somewhat of a question, but I guess it's not. 23. Vata, now of all of this truth, right, that God is with you, now, Hishavali, swear to me, swear for me, to me, Belikim, in God, by God, Heina im tishkarli, that you will not lie to me, ulanini, and not to my child, ulanechti, or to my grandchildren. Kechesed asher asisa imcha, like the kindness that I did with you, tase imadi, you should do with me. Right, this kindness. V'ima aretz, and as far as the land, asher garta bo, in which you dwell in, you sojourn in. So what's going on over here? Right? So why is he only saying to do a kindness for his son and his grandson? Rashi, Adkan in 23, Lenidi lenechti, for my son and for my grandson, Adkan, until this point. There's two generations after you, the third generation, right? You're the first, then your child, then your grandchild. Adkan rachmei ha'av alabayim. This is how much the extent of compassion there is for a father on his descendants. It's interesting. I was thinking of this idea because I'm aware of it because last week I was in Toronto and visiting my father, grandparents, and great grandparents, and telling them, oh, the descendants and so on and so forth. So they're in the world of truth, and in the world of truth, so they do have compassion, right? In this world, a parent will have a compassion for a child and for a grandchild, and beyond that is like it's like it's distant from them, right? It's interesting. And that's why he only mentions the two generations, right?
It's funny that he starts with the Nini and then Nechdi. It's like going backwards.
Nini is his son.
No, Nini is great grandchild.
Not here. Not here.
Huh?
Not here. Look at the English. Look at the English. It says not here.
Too. I know what Nini is.
Okay, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is here.
Well, why is it translated this way? That's not the Hebrew word.
Because you're speaking modern Hebrew. Modern Hebrew is not biblical Hebrew. That's why. Okay, next Rashi. In accordance to the kindness that I did with you, please do that with me. So what was his kindness? That I told you, that the land is before you. In other words, he gave him land, right? He gifted to him land that he could now dwell in the land. I did that kindness with you, so please now, give back kindness.
Give him permission.
Yeah. So it's interesting, by the way, and I'm not, I have to see further. I want to look at the commentators because from here, it is from here, and I'm not clear how it is. It's only two more generations because I think earlier it was more generations, and that's why King David did not conquer. He did not. Jerusalem was not conquered until King David took it or bought it actually from Arvana in the Yevusi, the Jebusite, right? Because of this swearing now that he would do. So let's see further, right? Because this is only two more generations, and I thought it was more. Okay, let's see. 24.
He didn't have to.
He did, though.
He did just so he doesn't have any merit in Bet HaMikdash that he's going to build there.
No, the two separate things. That's two separate things. That's him purchasing it. All right, that's him. That's
Abraham and the cave.
No, yeah, but that's not the point. That's not the question. That's not the point over here. That's a different point. The point over here is that it could not be conquered because of this promise for his descendants that he would not, there would not be any conquering. That's what's going on over here. But my question is, it seems only two generations, and I think it's more. I thought it was more generations. It's a separate point. What you're saying is correct, but that's not the oath over here. Okay, 24. Vayeira Avram, and Avram responded and he said, Anechi, I, Yishaveya, I'll swear. 25. Avram disputed his Avimelech. He disputed him, Alaydis Beramayim, concerning the well of water. Asher Gozu of the Avimelech, that which Avimelech's servants, they, we're learning in Rambam today? Hilchas Gzela. That's this word over here. Gzela means robber. That they robbed away from him. Rashi in 25. He disputed with him. He argued with him. Al kach over this well. Yomer Avimelech 26. And Avimelech responded, Lo Yedaiti, I didn't know. Me also is a davar. Who did this thing? The gam, and furthermore, and also, gam means also, but furthermore, ata, you, lo higadatali, you didn't tell me. The gam anechi, lo shamaiti bilti ayay, and I too did not hear of this until today.
Abraham is a very important man. He's speaking this way to Abimelech. It's like they're speaking as equals.
Well, who's the equal to who?
No, I mean in Abimelech's perspective.
No, Abimelech, he sees he's a holy man. He sees that God's with him. He said that God's with him,
Yes.
right?
And the king is like, because he's a king, Abimelech.
Right.
Right. So he considers Abraham like
I think more than an equal. That's why he wants him to
More.
more than an equal. That's why he wants him to swear.
Maybe.
No, more than an
sees him
equal.
so-
Yeah, because he absolutely. Avimelech was actually, this is was a righteous person, right? So he recognized, his greatness and therefore sees him greater. V'yikach Avram.
Maybe he took the whole to be a witness for this conversation.
If that was the case, Rashi L'chura should have said so. If that's so, right? Rashi seemingly should have said so, but it's a question on Rashi why, right? Remember, we're learning Chumash Rashi. We're not learning the pasuk. We have to remember very clearly, folks. In our learning over here, it's not about what the verse says. It's about how Rashi understands the verse. We are nobody to understand a verse in Torah. Okay, so we got to put that all aside. What's the verse saying? We are nobody to understand the verse. We are learning Rashi on how he understands the verse.
Speak for yourself.
I'm speaking for everyone here. And if I'm not speaking for you, then that's not good. Because if we don't recognize that we have no way to understand what the verse is talking about. We have no way to understand it. The only way we can understand it is with the oral tradition. Rashi is part of that oral tradition. So we have to take him to understand it, right? Otherwise, by the way, you're going to be an Israeli and do what you tried to do. Don't do that, right? Or you're going to be from another religion who's going to do backwards, forwards, from the old to the new, and to look into this and say, oh, this is what it means. Because I'm a man da'amar, I'm a somebody that can now have an opinion. We have no opinion on what the verse says. The oral Torah is teaching us. Who's the oral Torah that we're learning from right now is Rashi, right? So the question is not on the verse. The question is on Rashi. How come he's not like, right? How come it says Mechol Tsar Tzavoy? But what's he doing there? Like he didn't speak, right? So he was not. He was part of. He heard the conversation, but he's not part of the conversation. So why is he there? So if Chaim says, "Oh, maybe he's a witness," well, if he was, then Rashi would say that. Right. So Rashi's not saying that. So we can't assume that that's what it means. Right. Again, we want to understand Rashi. Right.
But sometimes Rashi is like, if he doesn't say something, it could be.
Okay. So that would, but we have to understand what we have. Oh, sometimes it's self-understood. Exactly. Or sometimes it's just not an issue in the simple meaning of the text. Right.
Yeah.
So the question on Rashi is that we don't understand why Rashi is not doing this. It's not like something's wrong with Rashi. Something's wrong with me not understanding Rashi. That's but we have to ask that question, right? We have to ask the question. Is that clear, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah, we need to be reminded of that because it's very easy, right? Okay. V'yikach Avram, and Avram took tzoin, he took sheep, ubakar, and cattle, v'yitain l'Avimelech, and he gave them to Avimelech, v'yichrusu shneim bris, and they both cut. Both of them cut. Yichrusu means to cut, it means to make, right? Because where do we have a bris? Is a male bris is you actually cut, right? So I guess with that comes any kind of covenant that you're making, it's called cutting. Actually, it's a mistake. The first covenant was made between God and Abraham. It was also cutting the parts, cutting the animal in half, right? It's cutting the animals in half. So that's the original covenant that is also expressed in a circumcision. So it's interesting. So it's with the word cutting.
Didn't you like skip a whole?
No,
You know,
I said
you
I did
were
26.
24. Before.
I did 24. Yeah. I said he's going to make an oath. Then he disputed with him. Interesting that he disputes with them about the wells, right? And all he responds, I didn't know. What came out of that? That he got the wells back? It doesn't say. All that now Avram is coming back and he is giving gifts in Vayikach, sorry, he took, right, to give. I mean, not to give gifts, but to give offerings for the covenant that they're making. So it's interesting how, and again, Rashi doesn't say anything. 28, V'yatzev Avram, and Avraham, he Yatzev like to stand up. Is Sheva Kivsois, the 7 flock, Hatzoin of sheep, Levadehem by themselves. He put he set them by themselves. Vayeira Avimelech, and Avimelech now says, we're in 29. El Avram, to Avram, Ma Hena Sheva Kivsos. What are these 7 sheep? Kivsos, ewes. Asher Yitzavta Levadana, that you set them aside by themselves. 30. Vayeira, and he responded to him, Ki es Sheva Kivsos Tikach Miyadi. For these 7 sheep you should take from my hands, ba'avor li le'eda, in order that they should be for me as a witness, ki chafarti es aber hazois, that I have dug this well. Okay, so we see the continuation now, okay? So, and that's perhaps why Rashi doesn't say anything, right? Because now is, so accept these from me, that will be a testimony that I dug this well. Right, the fact that you take it. Rashi in 30, Bavur Tiali, in order that it should serve for me, Zois that this act may serve for me. This act of taking it is going to serve for me, Leida, as a witness. Lashon Edus Shel Nekeva. Ada is a feminine form of testimony, female witness. Ve'eda Matseva, like the monument shall be a witness. Aid is masculine, Ada is feminine. Ki chavarti is a bear that I dug this well. The shepherds of Avimelech were quarreling with the shepherds of Avram, and they said, we dug it. The shepherds said among themselves, Kol mishis al haber, whoever will appear at the well, so the shepherds said like this, whoever's going to be at the well and the waters will rise to greet them, it belongs to them. All the likros Avram, and the waters rose to Avram. Wow.
Wow, that's right.
What's the wow over here?
Reminds me of Rivka.
What's the
No,
wow over here?
jumping,
Right, but what's the wow over here? That it happened? No. To me, that's not the wow. What, to Avram, that such a thing would happen? Tzaddik?
They know about it.
No, the wow is, where does Rashi get this from? In the verse. Where'd you get it from? How do you see that? How do you see that he teased that out from Ki chafarti zaber, that I dug the well? Right? You follow my question? I mean, Rashi, we're like, how do you see these in this words? Ki chafarti zaber, I dug the well. Is that clear? Question? Yeah? Where does Rashi get it from? How does he tease this out in the simple meaning of the verse?
Is it maybe from the Eda?
Huh? No, it has to be from the words Ki chafarti zaber, because I dug the well. So I'll tell you how. This is my thought. Avram did not dig the well. The shepherds did it. So as to say he did it. What did he do? the waters rose up to him. And in that respect, that's called the whole point of a well is to have water, to have water in a well, right? The waters rose. That was a proof that I dug it because he did not dig it. That's my thought. I don't know if that's what the commentators say. We'd have to take a look. Clear? No, it was not clear what it just said. But it's not
You
clear.
were saying that he, according to Rashi, Abraham is the one who dug the well, but you're saying
No.
he did not dig the well.
No, I'm saying, in fact, he did not dig the well.
What
Avram did
Rashi
not. Oh, no. There's no question. Avram did not dig the well. You know, the Rebbe is not digging a well, right? Who are doing it?
The shepherds.
The shepherds are doing it, right? So therefore, why he'd say that you could say that you could say that the well belongs to me, right? And my shepherds did it; it belongs to me. That's not what the words say. Chafarti means I dug it. So he did not dig it. So why is he saying I? So Rashi is there understanding what is called the digging is that you get the water, right? You can if you dig and you have no water, right? The waters actually rose up from that digging that the shepherds did because of him. And how so? That each one was debating who it belongs to. Okay, we'll see who it belongs to. The one who will come forth and the water will rise because of them. And it happened with Avram and not with the others. And that was a proof that it belongs to him. And that's what he's saying. Ki chafarti, because I dug it. Meaning not literally dug it, but I'm the one because of that. There is a well, right? And that was the test between the shepherds to see who it belonged to, because that's part of the dispute. That's how they came to an agreement in the dispute. Okay.
It's like the waters reacted to Abraham. That is
Right.
They rose up because Abraham.
Okay. Again, it's Rashi the way he's understanding the words in the verse, right? That's the important point over here. It's not about an idea. It's about Rashi understanding. Let's go to 31.
They've had some Rocha Kodesh too, so it's a
No, it's first of all,
combination of
I mean, it's a medrash. The question is, you don't use a medrash on Pshuta Shemikra if it doesn't fit into the simple meaning, right? There is a medrash that says this. It's not Avram that is, the question is, how does it fit in with these words to mean the simple meaning? So that's what because the word chafarti, right? It's not, he didn't say, habe'er sheli. He didn't say there's a well that's mine. He said the well that I dug. Okay.
But it's interesting that you can learn from that also that it's even if you give the order, it makes you responsible for something.
Right.
So it's he owned it because he gave that.
Yeah, that's owning it. That's not explaining the word chafarti, though. That doesn't explain chafarti. No, chafarti is not
He
owning.
gave the order.
No, that's not what the word chafarti means.
Like that.
I dug. How did he dig? He didn't dig. The shepherds dug, except that they dug and the waters rose up only because of him, and that's what makes it a digging of a well, right? Is that the waters rose up. That's how it can fit into Pshuta Shemikra. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get across here and what Rashi is saying. Is that clear? Okay, Al-Kain Kara Lamakam, therefore he called to the place, that place, Be'er Shava. Oh, Chaim is born. Be'er Shava, the well of 7. Right? That's what it means. The well of 7. But it's called Be'er Shava, Kisham Nishbu Shneihem, because both of them took an oath there. Actually, I say it's 7, but it's sorry. It also means Shavua oath, because they took an oath there.
I swore.
Yeah, they took an oath. V'yichrusu bris, and they made a covenant. Be'er-shava in Beer-shava v'yakam Avimelech, and he got up Avimelech v'chol Tzevoy, and v'chol his general of his legion v'yashuv al eretz Plishtim, and they returned to the land of Plishtim. Rashi, no Rashi.
This is my favorite part.
Vita Eishel Be'er-shava. And what happened? Avram, he made an Ita Be'er, Ita Eshel. So we're going to see over here the word Eshel. It's an interesting word. And we're going to have a debate of what that means, right? But let's call it an Eshel right now. So he made an Eshel in Beersheva, Yikra Sham, B'Shem Hashem, Kel Olam. This, very famous verse the Rebbe always uses. And he called out there in the name of God, universe. It translates here God of the universe, but actually that's not what it means. God, universe.
God universe.
Right. Yeah, well, Chassidus explains. Let's see 33. Eshel, the word Eshel, what does that mean? Rabu Shmuel, they debated what the word means. Chad Amar, one says Pardes, and it means an orchard. Lahavim, it meant to bring from it. Pedris, Besuda, to bring fruits for the guests for the meal, right? The Chad Amar, one says Pundak Lachsanya, that it means actually an inn for lodging. Oh boy, called Mine Michael, and there's all sorts of food in the lodging for the people that come there. Right, for Avram, he's bringing guests in, right, and he's taking care of his guests. But lashon nitiya, we find the word nitiya, planting, ba'ayalim, regarding to tents, shenemar v'ita ayalei b'handoi apadnoi, that he will plant the tents of his palace. The word v'yita means to plant, but here it's speaking about planting. What did he? So in this reference, it's an inn. We see by a tent, there's an idea of planting it, right? You're setting up a tent. And he called there, he proclaimed there, I say Eshel, through that Eshel, so through this Eshel, God was proclaimed as God, l'chol ha'olam, to the entire universe. After they would eat and drink, Avram would say to them, bless him who you have eaten from. So they believed that they've eaten from that which is mine. I'm sorry, that's actually rhetorical. Did you eat of mine? Avram would say to them. Misha Amar Vayeira, but you ate from the one who spoke and brought the universe into being. Achaltem, you've eaten. But there's a medrash over here, which is not simple meaning, but I just want to bring it out because this is a very fundamental Chabad teachings. The Rebbe spoke about it in the first Maimer, the first discourse when he became Rebbe, Yud Shvat, Tavshin Yud Aleph, and it says, so the medrash says, Vayikra Sham B'Shem Hashem, that he called there in the name of God. So the medrash says, Al Tikra Vayikra, don't call it that he called it, but Vayakri, that he made others call out in the name of God, which is really what Rashi is saying here, Vayikra, right? That he is making them recognize God, that God is the one that you ate from, right? And therefore praise and thank him. Vayikra, Vayakri, right? Vayakri, it's the same letters, different vowelization. One is that he called, and one is he caused others to call out the name of God. Which is interesting because, that it's sort of like Rashi is saying that over here, right? Without that.
I told you that when I lived in the south of Israel,
Yeah.
we had a tree of eshel in front of my house.
Yeah.
Huge, big, was called its eshel. And I was trying to find out why is it called eshel and how is this tree connected? And it survived in such a hard condition of no water, no. So it says there botanically that this tree has a special character that he can send his
Roots.
roots very, very deep to look for water. And we think about Abraham Avinu, he's in an environment that's like desert, people with no belief, no nothing. And he finds the Torah, Torah is water. And he finds the Torah in that environment. And it's beautiful, the connection with the two.
Yeah.
Mamish.
Shkoyach.
And if I may just stick one more little thing, there was somebody came to the Rebbe and he says, I don't understand. I do a lot of hospitality and I had the big fire. I mean, what am I punished? And so the Rebbe asked him, he said, do you walk your guests out when they leave? He said, no. They said, if you take the word Eshov and you take out the last letter, which is Leviah, to walk guests out, you're left with what word? Esh, which is fire.
This is by dollars or by a letter?
I think it was by dollar. It was asking him directly.
Whoa.
So if you take out the Leviah to walk your guests out, you're left with the word that means.
Yeah, Sicha from the Rebbe on that this week. Amazing Sicha. Maybe on Shabbos we'll learn it on Shabbos. Wow. Shkoyach. 34. Yagar, he sojourned Avram, Beretz Plishtim, in the land of the Plishtim, right? That's the Philistines. Gaza. Yomim Rabim. Many days. Many days, literally what it means years, 26 years. Let's see, Rashi. Yomim Rabim, many days, Merubim Al Chevra means many days means it's more than other days, right? That's what the inference is. So more than Chevron. The Chevron also Esrim Shana. In the Chevron he was 25 years. The Khan Esrim Vishesh, and here he was 26 years. Now he's going to show how. Sharei ben Shana Haya. He was 75 years old. It says when he left Haran, right? The beginning part says Lech Lecha. Shana that year when he was 75, he went into the plains of Mamre. Because we don't find prior to that point El Sham that he only settled there. And all of the places that he encamped before the plains of Mamre, he was a guest, camping, and they say traveling, moving around. Shenemar says Avram pass Yatik Misham. And he relocated from there. Avram Mitzrayim, and it was a famine in the land. And he went down to Egypt. All those places is not a place where he made home. He was traveling from place to place, right? Mitzrayim in Egypt, and he only spent 3 months there. Why? Because Paro sent them away miyad immediately, right? Because he said, the people here are, unsavory people. So he proceeded and continued with his journeys. And he came back to the plains of Mamre, which is Mamre are the plains which are in Chevron. And there he dwelled until Sodom was overturned. At that point, Avram journeyed after the destruction of Sodom. Because of the shame of Lot, right? Because Avram suffered when he became known that his nephew Lot had incestuous relations with his daughters, right? Remember? Plishtim, and he came to the land of the Plishtim, Philistines. And he was 99 years old then. Because on the third day of his circumcision, the angels came to him. So you have there 25 years, including that year, right? 75 and 99. That gives you 25 years, including that year, right? The Kanksiv, that was previously. That was it. The previous history. The Kanksiv, and now it says Yamim Rabbi, many days, which is implying Merubam al Rishonim, more than the first days, which he was in Chevron. And the verse doesn't come least time. Least time means to close, to be vague, right? Just say you were there 26 years. It's not coming to be vague. But to clarify, and if the present days were greater than the first days, 2 years or more, as it really was 27, 28, or 30 years, it would have been explained by the Torah. It would have said so. Therefore, we have to conclude from this that when it says many days that he was there, it means many days that he was in the land where the Philistines lived, 1 year more than he lived in Hebron. Because if it was 2 years more or 3 years more or whatever, the verse would have said so. But since it just says more, it means 1 year more. 26 years, Miyad, at this point, Yatsa Misham, he left the land of the Plishtim of the Philistines, and went back to Hebron. He says, Shana, Kadma, Lifnei Aked also Shali Yitzchak, in that year, in the 26th year, he returned to Hebron, Livnei Aked, before the binding of Isaac, which will be tomorrow's teachings. By 12 years, so it's taught in Seder Olam.
Seder Olam. Who's that?
Seder Olam is a book that is the history of the world.
It's the chronological.
Okay, so he's just explaining how Yamim Merubi means 26 years specifically. Okay, we're going to see you. Bye.